Hello and welcome to our webinar today, where we're going to be talking about some updates on our private label communications in the dashboard, as well as our press release programs. I'm Chad Hill and I'm joined by Adam Stetzer.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Adam here up in the Rochester office. I'm joined by a whole bunch of folks at HubShop. Say hello, everybody. Hello. Very excited to be with you guys today. Looking forward to this, Chad.
Great. Well, let's get right into the meat of the matter here, subject of the matter. We have two main things we wanted to talk about. One was some communication feature updates that we've made, and this has actually turned into be a bigger of a release than Adam and I had thought about, but we've got some really cool features. And then we also wanted to talk about the press release product, our recent PRweb upgrade, as well as an upcoming standalone press release service that we're going to be launching next month. I actually reorganized this deck a little bit. I was going to start with the press releases and then come to some of the system features, but as I started laying out the deck, I realized that we really needed to hear about some of these cool new communication preferences so that people would understand and maybe answer some of their questions as we get into how the press release process works. So we want to start with email delivery and configuration. This is something that we recently rolled out a couple weeks ago now, where we've changed the way that emails are sent to you. And some of you may have noticed this, some of you may not have noticed this. But one of the things that we've noticed over time is that the old platform that we were using for sending task updates, that there were a lot of problems with either a delay getting the email through to you, and in some cases, maybe they were getting routed and picked up as in the spam filters and various other things. So we've rolled out Amazon SES for a lot of our email delivery and certainly some of the email delivery that you use for campaigns, but we wanted to continue to build on Amazon SES because we're seeing the delivery rates and the speed and also the success of the deliveries being way better than the older technology that we were using for SMTP technologies we're using for sending emails. So you see here on the left, this is if you don't have Amazon SES set up on your reseller master. There's a lot of technical details here, but I want to try to just use these screenshots to hopefully make it real simple so you see the difference. So you'll notice that this is an email being sent out of your private label dashboard for the VetHubs demo account, and you can see on the left that it has the name VetHubs, but the actual from address is update@taskupdater.com. This is actually being sent out through Amazon SES. Again, we're using your reseller name so that when the email arrives in your inbox or potentially one of your end customers' inboxes, they would see the name of your business, but the actual underlying email address is taskupdater.com. Now, there's a lot of platforms out there. You guys probably have other services that use Zendesk and other platforms out there that do something very similar, so we don't think in any way this impacts the how the software operates or in any way creates a doubt with an end customer. But if you're super worried about that, we have the right-hand side, which all you have to do is go register for an Amazon SES key, and we have instructions in the dashboard. There's help documents in the support area, and you can always come to our 4 p.m. training session if you're worried about it. But all you have to do is you go in, get an Amazon SES key so that we can validate your specific email address associated with that Amazon SES key, and then you'll get the behavior on the right where the emails come from whatever email you validate with Amazon SES. So in both cases, you get way better delivery. Those emails are going to get through all of the myriad of spam protection filters and sender key authentication and all the crazy ways that people try to make sure that the emails getting delivered are really legitimate emails. You're going to get that in both cases, but you have a choice. If you really, really, really want that, extra level of branding and control, you just need to get your Amazon SES key plugged in. And just so everyone knows, the rates on that are something like 10 cents per 1,000 email. So my guess is you're talking about 20 or 30 cents a month for the volume that you're for your business. Now, obviously, if you have tons and tons of accounts, maybe it's a little higher, but it's not a lot of money.
And Chad, if anyone has any problems with that, I would highly recommend the 4 p.m. training session, which is free. Where you can sit with Adam M., highly skilled technical trainer, and go through and he'll actually walk you through these steps and get you up and running. That's every day at 4 o'clock Eastern.
Right. And again, just for those people who may be seeing this and saying, gosh, that looks kind of different, I don't understand this, if you inspect your email inbox today and you look at the emails, there are more emails coming through than you might imagine that are being sent with services like Amazon SES, because more and more companies that have software say, look, we're good at building software, but all the hassle of working to make sure emails get through, people are more and more outsourcing this. There's other ones out there like SendGrid, Amazon SES. There are 3 or 4 other ones that more and more platforms are using just to make sure emails are getting delivered. Now, down on the right-hand side, just very quickly, the way once I set up my email address with Amazon SES, the email that we send emails from is on your Reseller Master account, and you can see down here on the right, this is where it picks up the chat at vethubs.com. It actually picks that up from right here, and there is some, as Adam said, some other, you need to make sure you verify the from address, and that can be covered again through help docs or in our 4 p.m. training session. So again, the goal here is improving the delivery, the speed, and the reliability of getting emails from the dashboard to you and your customers. On that same note, we a couple months ago launched our press team program where we're actually doing outreach to your end customers when you enable it through the dashboard to interview them for press releases as well as gather information for our business quote news type. And so we have had I think a lot of great input. We've I think done a very good job. Adam monitors these phone calls with the team very frequently. They do a lot of training on how to make them go as smoothly as possible. One of the things that we realized that we wanted to do, and we actually talked about this a couple weeks on a webinar or 2 ago, we talked about that coming soon we wanted to give you guys the ability to actually select a phone number that would be in your local market, because there was some feedback that, hey, my end client's never going to pick up the phone if it's coming from an 800 number. So I would like the person that's calling to be calling from my local market. So we're rolling out that feature, and it's actually will be pushed out once we get a few more things tested out. It'll be pushed out to the system. Actually, I think this feature actually is live now. And so what you can do is, I've just demonstrated this here. I went, and on the left, I ordered a number, a local number for this particular reseller, and then I went to their Reseller Master, and once we had ordered that number, I was able to then link it to their Reseller Master and say, whenever we do any outbound press team contact activity, to use this as the caller ID. So kind of continuing with this process, I want to demonstrate what our team sees when they're making an outbound call. So in this particular case, I'm now back on the VetHubs example, but on the right-hand side, I've kind of got behind this window a task that I set up, and when our team was ready to make an outbound call to the end client, they clicked on the phone icon in the task update, and it popped up this outbound agent window. And so you can see before our team actually makes the phone call down here by clicking Start Call, what they see is that you're about to make an outbound phone call. You have a white label identity. The reseller's name is VetHubs. The email address there is chat@vethubs.com. Obviously, this isn't a great example, but the name is Jack Smith. Probably should be Chad Hill. I didn't want to get too many Chad Hills in there. And then it says, where they are. They're from Orlando. The firm is in Orlando, Florida. We also have here the callback number, so that while our agent is on the phone talking to your client, and if someone needs to leave a message is probably the better use case, needs to leave a message, they can quote this callback number. Now, this is the same number that's going to be showing up in the caller ID. So again, what we're trying to do here is we want to just eliminate any issues with someone not picking up the phone because it's an 800 number. And so for right now, when we make the outbound calls, it will be calling from this local number that we configured on the prior screen. And then we're, as you can see here, giving prompts to our agent so they know, our press team, so they know what branding to use when they're making that phone call. In addition to the outbound call, you can also see over here on the right-hand side that the task that they're working from, so whether that's a business quote task or a press release task today, any of the phone call conversations they have is recorded and placed into the task. And again, we're using this for training purposes. We'll go through and audit phone calls and train our team. And also it's good for you to also be able to listen to how these phone calls are going, because we're gathering really good information. So this is all brand new functionality that we again have put in place to provide a better connection with the end customer in a white labeled way, so that we can gather this information, take some burden off you. You don't have to pass questionnaires around anymore. We're actually doing the contact for you. And again, this has been going very well. Adam, anything you want to add here? Because I know that you've been very active along with Faye and Jesse on some of these projects here.
Yeah, I think these are great additions, and I listened to a lot of these calls. We had a training and QA session this morning. The press team's actually here with me in the room here in Rochester, and Jesse and Faye have been doing a great job. And 95% of the folks really don't care who's on the other end of the phone. They just want to get the work done and move on. But there are those 5% who are inquisitive, and I didn't know you had a press team, and ask a few questions. So these fields that Chad's outlining here are very helpful. They say where you're located, and if I need to call you back, what number should I use? And do you guys have an email I can use for support? That's come up a few times. We also, and if anyone's interested, you should read the script. It's available on our support page. But we also make reference to the name, saying, Jack asked me to call you for your press release. We also identify ourselves as I'm calling from the VetHub's press team on a recorded line, so we satisfy all the state regulatory guidelines around recorded lines. So that's been going fantastically well. And again, I've been reviewing near 100% of these calls. So far, no issues related to private labeling whatsoever with an end client. Even the more finicky ones have been great. There is a question here, Chad, for you, though. It says, they came in from someone in the webinar that said, couldn't the caller ID be masked as our primary office number? Why did you go with a different number instead?
Well, the reason we did that is because people call back to the number. And so, if someone called back, there's a better chance actually that on you guys would say, like someone at your office would say, no, I didn't call you. And then you now have to connect us back to, you have to connect back to our team to actually have the work done. So again, we're trying to kind of take that burden off you. And I will say today, when they call back in, they go into a general process, a general greeting that says, thanks for calling the press team, please wait while we connect your call. But we envision, again, continuing to private label this in a way that we can add more and more personalization into that return phone call back in.
Yeah, I'm dying to build that feature, Chad. I think one person's asked for it. Hopefully others will request it and talk about it in the forum, but it'd be really cool when you set up your private label number that you could also go in and record a personalized greeting from the business owner or the agency, whoever they would normally be hearing, and they hear a familiar voice when he comes in, and then it'll still put them in our hold queue, and then our press team would pick up. I think that's just really cool stuff.
Great, and I wanted to point out here again that right now when someone does call back in, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong, but that is not currently all going into the task note. That is actually being recorded somewhere, but we hope to be adding that functionality back in here at some point very soon.
Yeah, you've got that right. It's also coming soon.
Great. Okay, more on user communication preferences, and I was really happy with this release again because I went back through some of the feature requests that people have put in and we've had on our list now for a while, and we actually knocked off a lot of frequently requested communication preferences type of feature requests. Here's a couple more that are really cool and some new stuff. So first one is, I've heard this question many times, is there a way for me to control which of my users get email notifications? I don't want to turn off task updates, or I don't want to do the global opt-out, but I don't want to get lead notifications for all my clients because it's too many emails and I can't keep track of it. So what we've built is we built a couple more opt-in, opt-outs around sales lead notifications. So it's a little small, but on the right-hand side under the user profile, we still have our global email receive or opt-out, which is the overall kill switch. If you opt out, you get no emails from the system. If you do select receive, then these other options are relevant. So then we have the review pending email, receive and opt-out, which again many of you know about. That's when we put something in review pending client, which users should or shouldn't be notified of that event. So we have that here. The two new ones we added are sales lead email receiver opt-out. So again, it used to be that any user profile who had access to an account that got a lead would receive the sales lead notification email. They now have the ability to receive or opt out. So you can opt that out to not get emailed a sales lead notification email. The cool new feature we added is we're heading into SMS. And so we actually added the ability to be notified via SMS of a sales lead. We've had several of our clients out there want the Amazon SES because they wanted lead email notification to go faster, but we're going to take it one step further and actually give that to them not only via Amazon SES, which is how it works today, but we're also going to be adding in the ability for you to opt in to receive your lead notification via SMS. And for those of you who don't know what SMS is, it's basically text messaging, simple. I think it's like short message service or something, but it's your text message on your phone. So in order to make that, to enable that, and my little screenshot here actually is covering up the, just move that for a second, sorry. But you'll see here that there is actually a new field on the user profile where you have the ability to add an SMS number in. So when you click the green plus sign, it pops up this window, and then you have the ability here to type in the number you want to have notified via text. You'll get that PIN on your phone. I'm sure all of you guys have been through this for banks and various other things, but you get the PIN number on the phone, and then a new field will display right below on the screen where you then type that number back in to this screen and hit update user. So once that's enabled, then you can then select to have your lead notifications be texted out via SMS. And Adam and I have a whole bunch of cool feature ideas around how we can use this going forward, but for now, you'll get those emails, those notifications sent to your phone.
And Chad, I think this feature, maybe you're going to talk about it here. I mean, in terms of plugging this feature, it's cool, gee whiz technology, but that's not really the business case here. The business case, as we know, in the SMB market, small businesses often have a very tough time doing good sales follow-up. They're very busy. Sometimes the person who has to go respond to the leads is also, running the cash register or scheduling or assisting the dentist, whatever it is they're doing. And so what this feature really means for everyone on the phone here is better retention of your marketing services clients. That's better retention of PPC clients, of SEO clients. Why? Because you're getting them to respond to those inbound leads that come through their web to lead form faster, or call them faster, which means they're more likely to close that business. And we know if they're making money, they're going to stay with the service. So this, it presents as, oh, cool, you guys can text now. But to me, what this was really about is enforcing good sales funnel habits for that SMB client so they follow up faster, win more business, and appreciate your involvement in their marketing strategy, which overall means people on this call make more money.
And I should mention that the from address for this text message is also tied back to the communication number that you specify on the prior screens. So again, there's a default number, which is actually an 847 number, just a fairly not tied to us in any way, just a default number. But then you'll definitely want to specify and lock in your own local number for these notifications. Another long-time requested feature is to allow end customers an easier way to see the tracking numbers, all the tracking numbers that are set up on their campaign. So we will be adding a new screen under the Sales tab that will allow people to see a list of all their tracking numbers. So today you can see your phone calls, but those phone calls obviously are showing just the numbers that those person's calling into. If you had registered 5 numbers, but you only get phone calls on 4 of those numbers, it's very hard to find out what that 5th number is. And so what we wanted to do was to provide a screen where people would be able to see this more easily. So that will be rolling out with this notification release. Okay, that takes us to press releases and what we're doing with press releases. So We've talked about this in prior webinars and also have been announcing and talking about this on our website, but we rolled out an upgrade or a new add-on service where you can add a PRweb advanced press release to any program that already had a press release on it. So really this is an add-on just to get better distribution of the press release that was already being written for your campaign. So I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I think to me this is really not optional. This is a great option that allows you to get much better reach on your press release. We used sort of the bulk buying of all of our team here to get a fairly good rate compared to a great rate compared to what you can get directly off of the PRweb website. And like other things like phone tracking, we really just want to pass this along. So this is essentially passing the cost along of what it costs to actually send out one of these press releases on PRweb. A few things you get. First of all, you get guaranteed distribution. The free press release sites that we use, when you don't upgrade, sometimes those press releases sit and wait to be posted. We actually are dealing with one right now where they have a really big backlog and they're not posting them. So there's no guarantee that they actually get out on the free press release sites. This, you get a guaranteed distribution. You get better placements. On the right-hand side, again, it's pretty small, but this is one that we sent out for a client, and their press release showed up, of course, on PRweb, but you can see here this is on Street Insider, court.us, lawlink.com, veteranssocial.org. So they're on a number of publications where these press releases get picked up. So there's great audience value there. Again, just to hit the point on the cost here, this is a $49 per month upgrade. So we take every press release that we would have otherwise put out on one of the free press release sites, and we're just taking that and putting it on PRweb. So it's a $49 per month, and it does replace the free press release syndication sites. So if anyone has a press release coming out in the next few weeks, this is a great, and they're looking for ways to get a little extra edge on their client's campaign, this is a great way. And we're going to take you to the next page here where there have been some examples where actually these press releases rank on target keywords. So here's one that we actually put out. We have a scholarship program. We put out a press release on our scholarship winner for this last, that we put out last month. And we put the press release out this morning, and for one of our terms that we have in our organic SEO, white label SEO, this was actually showing up on the first page under news. Actually, at the bottom of the first page and also under the news section, this press release was showing up. Now, they don't stick around as long. There definitely is a quicker news cycle on press releases, but we are doing one a month, so there's opportunity there to keep yourself current on important search phrases. Another one on the right that we also put out this morning was at the top of page 2 for one of their primary target keywords that they're trying to optimize their website on. Again, this is showing at the top of page 2 for this term from just releasing it this morning. So these sites, PRweb especially, that site's a very authoritative site, and these are beneficial for getting visibility on the topics that we're writing about. So we are also in terms of the way the press release is working, we talked earlier, our team, when you opt in to have our press team make the outbound call, is calling your customer. As Adam said, we're reviewing all these phone calls. In 95% of the cases, people say, sure, let's go through this. And we have a set of interview questions, which you can download and read on our support page. And again, this is going very, very well. The few cases where we've had people confused, it's often because our reseller, the reseller partner, did not mention to the client that this would be happening. So they were actually confused. I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't know why you're calling. So we need to really make sure everyone understands that when you opt in to have us do the press release outreach, we will be calling. So you should definitely make sure your client knows that someone will be reaching out from your press team to talk to you about the business quote and the press release, depending on what plan you're on. Now, we wanted to continue to build on this press release program by actually launching a standalone press release. We had some people asking for that, either that were on plans that didn't include it or who had clients they thought would just be a good fit, maybe weren't a fit for some other services but were a good fit for a press release program. So we will be using the same process that we're using today for a press release as part of an SEO program. We'll be doing a publishing coordinator call when you opt in. We'll have a writer, someone on our writer team writing that press release. We have an editor who's reviewing the press release, and then the publishing coordinator will actually call back to get approval from the client. Actually, let me clarify that. The publishing coordinator will ask up front, do you want us to call back to get you to approve it before we send it out? And depending on what they've specified, we will either send it out, or if they said, yes, I would like to see it before it goes out, we will give them a call to review it. And then that will go out via the PRweb Advanced Release Service. The wholesale price on this is $149. The retail price is going to be $299. So it's a very good deal considering the wholesale price is essentially less than the cost of that product on their website. And that's it for today. Any questions from anyone out there?
Yeah, a couple questions for you, Chad. First is on that press release. Are you writing that, or do we have to write it?
Oh yeah, that includes us writing it. That's why it's a great deal. So the writer, the second step there is that we make the phone call, we write it, our editor reviews it, it goes to the publishing coordinator for approval, and then it goes out.
All right, another one that came in here, Chad, can you give us examples of what ideas you use for press releases, and how do you come up with them month after month? Because we find it's hard sometimes to brainstorm these with clients.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I know that Svea and Ellen and our team have been trying to incorporate in more newsjacking. So rather than going back to the client month after month and just saying, okay, I've got the same 7 or 8 questions that last month you couldn't answer, so this month you probably aren't going to be able to either. So we've been trying to go to those phone calls with an idea, do a little pre-research, come up with something that's relevant, newsworthy, and then making the phone call to get their perspective or comment and try to work that angle.
Great, yeah, thanks. And they've been very successful, even though sometimes it takes a little while. But our folks are very resourceful, and they brainstorm ideas. And after you've done a couple, I think it gets them in the mode of, oh, I need to have something ready for next month. And that's related to this last question, Chad. Someone said, can you guys talk a little bit about your views on press releases as an SEO strategy and where things are with Google today?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think in general, some of the websites that PRweb uses are no-follow links. Few do follow links. We generally are following, there were a number of talks about overusing press releases. If you take, it's always hard because you never know how many is 2 press releases, but I'd say it's very normal for a business to put out 1 press release a month. We're not anchor linking. Now that's something that we could talk about, but in general our goal has always been to a link on the brand. It's a good brand reference, and the link has been on the name of the company. And that's kind of how we're looking at it. So, and as I said, if you look at where these press releases are going out, these press releases are going out to high-quality websites with real audience. They're showing up in Google search results on competitive phrases on the PRweb.com domain name. So, again, these are audience-driven, and that's how we look at it. And when there is a link, it's a link on the company name. So that's our position.
Yeah, I think that's right on, Chad. And I think there's this whole debate about whether links should be in there or not. But if you look through Google's stance, they really are kind of gray on this, and they don't overuse them. But in more backing up a step, what you said, Chad, is if you put the audience value first, and we're doing this for branding and because we really have something to say and promote, that's really headed in the right direction. So I think these are very, very useful, particularly for small business customers who've been in link building mode, which is where most of SEO has been for the last 3 or 4 years, and are struggling to understand the changes, or worse, have sunk in the rankings. I have a column going up on Search Engine Watch this weekend, and press releases are one of my 3 top strategies for SMBs who are having a lot of fear of Google or have had a problem. And the reasons for that are everything that Chad just said. It really gets you thinking about promoting newsworthy information about your business, focusing on brand and focusing on real audience. And yes, you may earn a link, you may not. It may be no follow, it may not. And that's all as it should be because you're putting audience first. And I think that's where a lot of these small businesses are struggling. They really wish SEO was more like it was 3 years ago. It was link building, maybe even link buying. But the reality is those days are gone. They're not coming back. And we're seeing great results using the press release instrument to pull them more into true PR activities and brand-oriented activities. Chad, here's another one for you. Will we have access to the distribution list of where these press releases go to share with clients?
Yeah, we are working on that. We do get access to that through PRweb. It's not automatically pulled into the dashboard in any way. So we need to work through how we can get some stats back that go either into a task or in some way that you can view. So we are looking at that. Don't have an answer though.
Great. But again, I just can't say enough about using this product to help your clients understand where SEO is and where they should be with marketing and brand and press and PR in 2014. And that pretty much wraps up our questions, Jeff.
Excellent. Well, thank you, everyone. And like I said, just a few of the dates, the release for notifications will be rolling out over the next, part of it's already live, part of it's rolling out over the next day or so. And then the new press release program will be launching on the 1st. So if you have any questions, please jump into our forum, attend a training session, contact your account manager, and we look forward to speaking with you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Good talking to you today.